Next competition, the Young Riders Youth Competition Challenge Cup at 3:30. 15:30 starten dus met de volgende rubriek op de Eki Home. FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final Challenge Cup voor Young Riders. On commence l'épreuve suivante à 15h30. L'épreuve suivante à 15h30. Challenge Cup 15:30. Voilà, met de beeld wordt de piste opengesteld voor verkenning. De arena is open for inspection. Rijders, la piste ouverte pour faire de reconnaissance. FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final Challenge Cup for the young riders. And also the speed in this competition, riders pay attention, is 375 meters per minute. La vitesse est très importante, 375 mètres par minute. Dus obstacles, 15 efforts, 12 hindernissen, 15 sprongen, 12 fences and 15 efforts. So more information about this competition, riders. In the Nations Cup Youth Final, the Challenge Cup on Saturday. The speed, 375 meters per minute. Length of the competition, 450 meters. The time allowed is 72. La vitesse, 375-375 mètres par minute. Longueur du parcours, 450 mètres. Temps accordé, 72,72 seconden. Snelheid bedraagt 375 meter per minuut. Lengte, 450 meter. De toegestaan is 72 seconden. Closing the arena, the final Challenge Cup for young riders. And 5 teams, Spain, Denmark, Poland, Sweden en de Netherlands. In deze volgorde gaan we die landen aan het werk zien, dames en heren. Bent u er klaar voor? Riders, are you ready?
Well, I hope you're ready as well, because welcome along to FEI TV. Delighted to have you back with us here in Azilov in Lier in Belgium for these FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Finals. It is Challenge Cup Day. For those that won't be part of the final tomorrow, they still have their own final. The exclusivity of qualifying in the top 6 is reserved for those that we will see tomorrow, but those other nations competing in the differing youth divisions having their chance in the Challenge Cup final. Well, there are 5 nations battling it out in this one, and it is the young riders, as we can see getting started, will be Spain, Denmark, Poland, Sweden and the Netherlands, all included. Last year it was Germany, year before it was Canada that took the Challenge Cup, so who will lift it this year we will see, but it looks like there's going to be a new name on that trophy. 4 riders per team. 1 round of jumping could settle it unless there is a tie for victory on faults, at which point there then would be a jump off. There's the final fence. It is number 12 around this course. Just making sure we can see every fence at the moment. Spain are going to kick it off, though, as I've mentioned, and their first rider is Juan Riva Gil, who jumped a rather good round here in the first qualifying competition the other day to deliver that clear round. I'm sure we'll be hoping to do the same thing again. It didn't work so well for the Spanish after that, but they've saved themselves for today. Victoria d'Argent, the first out for this Spanish team. Good luck to all. Here we go. Exciting hour or so of sport ahead of us to enjoy, maybe more depending if we get that jump off. Fingers crossed we do, because that will mean it is an exciting end. Although I have to say it was very exciting a little while ago in the juniors, because that went right the way down to the final horse jumping a clear to win it, and that's exactly what happened. What will happen this time, we will find out. But one rider jumping on Thursday for these two delivered a clear to start things off for Spain. Will it be the same here in the Challenge Cup final? It is Juan Riva Gil, Victoria d'Argent, the first to go. Give us a little bit of a clue as to how this course is going to ride. Round they come, back on themselves. Down to the upright. To really push on the 5. Nice big open line, turning back into this triple combination, 2 strides out over the upright. And then you come around this corner, line up this parallel. Got a bit deep. In and out of the double, and again it's quite a long run round on the corner. Careful over the plank. Now coming down to what is the last. So finishing on the 4, just ended up underneath that parallel, coming away from the combination, but it is a opening score of 4 then for Spain. So that's how it starts, but it's how it finishes that counts. Next to go, Rosemary Herring for Denmark, who will start things off here. The jumped in the anchor leg yesterday. Picked up a score of 7. Same fence, same pole as well, but again, that makes 12.
The Danish team, Rosemary Herring, with 12 points in 71-70.
12 is the score for the opening round for Denmark. Of course, they'll be reliant now more and more on their final riders. Now we turn to Poland and Natalia Sido riding Nico Gold in this young rider team. Jumped for 8 yesterday for the team. And jumped for a clear on the opening day. I felt for the Polish team, to be fair, because they jumped brilliantly on day 1 and then it just unravelled on them in the second competition yesterday, which saw them miss out on that chance to get into the final. But then you look at it and you think, well, Sweden, who lifted the final trophy, won the overall final last year, are in this Challenge Cup. The Dutch are in this Challenge Cup. So, you know, some big nations missing out, and already 4 here for Natalia. At the end, and well, the clock hasn't stopped, which makes the I'm not sure where we landed with the time penalties there. We'll get clarification in a moment or so, but I think, yeah, they're just in the 72. So there we have it. It is a total of 20 for the first to go for the Polish team, and that's obviously putting them on the back foot in these early stages. So we now look to Sweden. As I say, they won the overall, they won the final 12 months ago. Can they make it the Challenge Cup? There's this year as a consolation with Ebba Quinter the first to go. Sweden never really recovered from day one. These two, though, on day one did start things off well. They started off with a clear. They jumped for 4 yesterday. They jumped as a team for 12 on both days. Keeping it to the 4 through the combination. Keeping it on 4 will be key. So over the last 72.14, just over the time. It is 5. What difference that makes, we'll find out later. But it is one-time penalty for jumping. Then for the first out for Sweden, Ebba Quinter and Helios. So Sweden leaves us just with Vincent Vaughan's Dutch team now. Wesley de Boer. I mean, the Dutch came even closer to getting in. They ended up losing out on time. But again, it was awfully close and very up and down through the qualifier last night. 1 minute it was one team, then it was another team, and it was turning and twisting as we went on. But at the end, the Dutch missing out. Wesley de Boer, Karin, is the first of the Dutch riders. Jumped for 4 yesterday after the 5 on day 1, and already 4 today. Showing again this course very jumpable, but very easy just to make a little mistake. On the 8 as they turn back to the plank in this final line. Trying to make sure there's no issues with the clock. They're really keeping a nice forward rhythm down that line, but it is 8 as fencers fall. So that is the opening rider from each of the 5 teams now gone. Spain with 4, Sweden with 5, the Dutch with 8, the Danish with 12, and Poland with 20. But, as I've always said, these opening rounds can all be discarded, providing the remaining riders go clear or go better. So Spain now, who have given themselves a little bit of an early advantage. now have their second rider. This is Ignacio Garcia Garrido riding San Carreras SFM. Didn't have it easy on day one, and sadly is not going to have it easy here in the Challenge Cup final either. Spanish team elected not to jump in the second qualifying competition, having fallen too far out of play on day one, and in fact, I think he knows his horse just not feeling it this week. So I'm sure he's making the sensible decision to retire, which means, of course, it does count that 4 penalty score now for Spain from their first rider, Henri Vergil and Victoria D'Argent. Now we're going to move on to Denmark, who, with that 12 penalty score from their first team member, now welcome in Jacob Theodor Schmidt and Comoron Z. Bit of a nice clear on day one for the Danish, and then jump for 4 and 2, 6 yesterday. So if they can keep the 12 off the score, then they can keep themselves very much in play. That's gone. Really rides this horse forward, and then it sort of hangs in the air a little bit over the fences. It's got a lot of power. Well, kept it to the 4, just that 1 fence down. So Denmark, like Spain now, on a best outcome of 4 here today. Jacob Theodor Schmidt and Comoron Z as the second of the team riders. Well, over there is Tamara for Poland. Tamara Todorovic and Zifro. Poland, of course, with a 20 from the opening partnership. Getting set now with these two. Jump for 12 here yesterday. Of course, these two also jumped for a single time penalty on the opening day. So got a lot of ability. Very careful, well ridden. But unfortunately, you could just see the way she just got pulled a little bit. She was holding to the upright and then just got pulled onto that front rail. So Poland now going to a score of 4, just like Spain and Denmark. Now becomes 8, so they fall a fence behind. Time could become a problem as well here. They are going to pick up a time penalty. It is a total of 9, and it's a 9 that they'll have to count. Penalty putting them slightly out of sync, I guess, as well. So 9 is the score as a best outcome currently for the Polish team. Now to Sweden. Sweden, whose first rider, Ebba Quenta, picking up a total of 5. Now it's Ida Svellan. The Swedish team got a huge amount of talent here. These two who jumped in the anchor position on the opening day and finished on that score of 4, as they did in the anchor slot yesterday. Today moving up into number 2 with Bentley van Hogenrold Z. And how's she going to be able to get on? I would already be worrying about the time though. And she's had that fence down. So 4 and accounting for. Well, that becomes 8, which means the Swedish team will now have to use the 5 they've already had. Time is tight, but she's okay. So it is just the 8 penalties in terms of jumping. Nothing on the clock. Sweden will use that as a discard for the moment. They'll count the 5 from Ebba, but Ida Svellan there and Bentley van Hogenrold Z going into the discard slot on 8. So to Fleholmen and to Fultic for the Dutch. Important round for them after their first rider picked up a score of 8. These two picking up a 4 penalty score, well, that would have been yesterday, and then the Netherlands again 4 from day 1. Still clear at the moment. Could it be? We haven't had one yet. It certainly will keep the advantage with the Netherlands. Oh, just over on the clock, 72-24 is the final time. So that 1 penalty does count for the team, but it certainly gives them the advantage at the moment. They lead after 2 riders from each of the teams. So halfway through this round, and the Netherlands able still to finish on a score of 1. Spain and Denmark could yet finish on a score of 4. Sweden 5 and Poland 9. Requires clears to do that. Now Patricia Assis Camara and Dulcinea Platier for Spain, who, as I said, could yet finish on 4, but having seen their second rider retire, they now know that the scores are definitely going to count whatever happens here with their final 2 combinations. This Dulcinea Platier, Patricia Astis Camara, jumped for 12 on day 1. And already with 4 today, pushing the team onto 8, now onto 12. And that score rising quickly, sadly, with the combination, and probably more to come. Well, it had been a positive opening, but in the end it's 16, and that pushes the Spanish total now up to 20 as a best potential outcome. Sadly there, Patriciastis Camara with defences falling, but get inside on the time. So that was Delcini Pletier. Next to go will be Denmark, like Spain, starting with their third horse and rider combination, still able yet to finish on 4. Victoria Sophia Horov Madsen is next in, riding Catwalk. Jumped for 6 on day 1. Sadly was the discard on that 13 yesterday. But the Danish holding that 12 penalty discard, meaning that any fences that go will also be counting quickly to that score. So it is 4 now. Moves the Danish team on to 12 as a team total. Kept quite a forward pace. Time shouldn't be too much of an issue. It is a score of 8 and a counting 8. So the team from Denmark moving on to a total for the team of 12 for the moment, as far as my maths goes. So we've seen 2 teams now. Poland could yet finish on a score of 9. That was the mark from Tamara, the last rider, but the 20 from Natalia, of course, are holding as a discard score. Sophia Mashaliek now and Elizabeth Z is the next to their riders. Was scored 15, unfortunately, yesterday. But did jump for a time fault on day 1. As these fences fall as well, they're all going to count. Fascinating course. Close as we've come to a clear is that 1 penalty from the second of the Dutch riders. That was Fleur Holman. The last goes as well, unfortunately 20, which was originally a discard score. It's still a discard score, but it's also now a counting score, and the total for Poland is a best outcome of 29, dropping them down behind Denmark and Spain. So to the 2 teams very much looking like they're battling at the top as it stands. We have Sweden on a best outcome of 5, then the Dutch on a best outcome of 1. It'll be Sweden's number 3, Josephine Torrell and Damisel de Mensuil, who goes next. Jump for 8 penalties on day 1 and for 4 penalties yesterday. So with those 4, they're holding an 8 discarded, so moves them on to 9. Just opening the door a little bit here to the Dutch. Well, they do finish well in on the clock, so it is just that score of 4 for the Swedish rider there. It is Josephine Torell and Damisel de Mencel. So that, as I said, it moves them on to a score of 9. Interestingly, because the Dutch also have that single time penalty that they're holding at the moment and are using. And, of course, if they have 2 fences down, it will put them on the same score. So the time penalty sort of voiding itself by them both having to use it in terms of it as a differentiator. But the Dutch also with an 8 penalty discard. Can they give themselves an advantage here going into the final rider rotation shortly with their number 3, Logan Fincher, riding Quebec. Van der Middelstedt. Jumped for 4 penalties yesterday. And jumped to clear on day 1. Unable to win it with this round, but could well give them a fencer's advantage going into their last horse and rider combination if they get the clear. It's quite wide coming back to the plank. Time is going to be very tight. In fact, the time could really work against them here. In fact, the time has worked against them. They've jumped the fences, but the time penalties will come into play and count as well. So the Dutch move on to a score of 4. It does give them a 1 fence advantage going into this final round. They will have a 1 fence. Sweden on 9, the Netherlands on 4. So they can afford 1 fence down, but they can't afford anything more. Of course, that'll also depend a little bit on what's happened with Sweden just going before them, so that could adjust. But we now move in to the final rotation of riders, and therefore back to the Spanish, who could yet finish in 4th place, potentially, on a score of 20. I mean, they could finish higher, depending what happens with Denmark. But Maria Garcia Berega here with Gitian, unfortunately now also having had the fence down, moves the team on to 24. And to remind you, the Spanish team without a discard because of the retirement of their 2nd rider. Time penalty as well, 13 becomes that final score, so they move on to a final total of 33 for the Spanish team. So Denmark, who now start with a chance of finishing on a 12, guaranteed a podium in this Challenge Cup. They're guaranteed third place because the worst available score to them is 24. So they will definitely finish in third. But if they can keep it to the 12, you never know what might happen. There is a route to winning it still if they get a clear now, and that route would be the Danish team having 8, the Swedish team also using the 8 that they are discarding, and it would put the Dutch and Danish into a jump off. But they need a clear here from Cecily Kaya and Yu Amon, their last rider in the team. That's their sort of route to the top. The Pathfinders on day 1 when they scored 4. And then yesterday, those two scoring 10. Of course, if they have a fence, that route to victory isn't available to them anymore. But the route for them would involve a jump off as well, and it does require the Dutch having a couple of fences down, as well as the Swedish. Sort of hold your breath type around, they get the combination out of the way, still clear here. Fingers crossed for them. Really brilliant way to finish it off, and well done to Cecily Kaya and Yu Amon. It means that the Danish team do in fact finish on a 12 penalty score. And like I said, that means they're guaranteed third place, but there is a set of circumstances that could yet see them in a jump off for the win. We'll come to that after we've watched the last combination for Poland, that are just, well, they're in a position to secure 4th. They have a 4 penalty advantage on Spain. 4 penalty advantage on Spain. Lina Merzak and Jetulon 15 is up next. And this is going to be close. I mean, how unbelievable going into the last thing. We could still end up with a jump off. We could yet still see the last team come in, jump clear to win it, even have a fence down. We'll see where we get to, but there's a fair few permutations at the moment that could see either Denmark, Sweden, or the Netherlands come out on top, although you have to at the moment say the Dutch are favourites because they have the advantage. So Lina Merzak now is Jetulon van der Riverten. If she has a fence down, it'll come to the clock with Spain. When she jumps clear, they stay ahead of Spain. If she has 2 fences down, they fall behind Spain. The fence and the second fence, so they will drop behind the Spanish. They jumped a brilliant clear, these two, on the opening day in this anchor position. And the last with the time penalty brings the score up to 9. So come the end of that, it's a score of 38. By my maths, for Poland.
34, so adding 1 for time, the total is 38 in this competition.
Yeah. So here we go, down to the final two riders, the final two teams. Could we end up with this being won in round one, or will it go into a jump off? What is going to happen? Well, to remind you, the Netherlands could yet finish on a score of 4 with a clear. Sweden, at best, Sweden are next, could finish on a score of 9. That would mean if they can get a clear here from Mevede Nielsen and Katming, they lock in the 9. Yes, still the Dutch would have a 1 fence advantage, but they wouldn't have 2 fences in hand. Of course, if the Swedish team, who are holding a discard of 8, were to have a fence down here, that would move them on to a score of 13, which would put them behind Denmark, who sit on 12. They're holding an 8 penalty discard, so they can't score more than that. We'll just have to see what happens. It's absolutely key now. We're down to these last 2 rounds to see what happens next. And of course, what will be the permutations ultimately for the Dutch are going to come down to this round for Sweden. Score of 4 puts them behind the team from Denmark. It means that the Danish team move up into 2nd place. They're guaranteed 3rd now for Sweden. They do indeed pick up the 4, which, as I've said, will count toward the score. It means they finish on a total of 13, 1 penalty behind Denmark. That time penalty coming back to make a difference. So it comes down to the last to go yet again in this Challenge Cup competition, and the Netherlands with their last rider lining up as Finn Borkamp and Iceman Elriet. Combination that jumped clear on day 1 for the Dutch, and then picked up a total of 6 yesterday. Permutation simple. The Netherlands are able to finish on 4. 12 would be the worst outcome. Of course, they have 2 fences down. They're holding an 8 as a discard. But if they have 2 fences down, it means it goes to a jump off with Denmark. If they can keep it under 8, so 7 is as close as we're going, 4 plus 3, then the Dutch will win it without the need to go against the clock with Denmark. But that clear round from Denmark has already pushed them up into 2nd. Could it be enough to bring them into a jump-off situation with the Dutch? Or can the last to go keep it to 7 or under to win it for the Netherlands, this Challenge Cup? Certainly riding with a lot of confidence down that opening line. Comes round now to the combination that's certainly picked up plenty of faults for plenty of riders. A long way off there, so there's the fence in hand gone. If he has another one, it's going to go to a jump off. He needs to be careful. He's not changing his approach. He's still just keeping riding nice and forward. Certainly the time allowed won't be a problem. He just needs to jump this fence. And he's done it to ensure the Dutch win it. And Finn Borkamp, yes, they needed to use their fence that they had in hand, but at the end of it all, it matters not, because there you have it. as the last to go, wins it once again, and this time it is for the Netherlands. Congratulations, Finn, to Logan, to Fleur, and to Wesley, to Vincent Vaughan, their chef de keep. But the Netherlands win the Challenge Cup here at the FEI Jumping Nations Cup for youth in the Young Riders. Denmark, well done to them. That clear from Cecily at the end, boosting their performance up into second, and a brilliant result come the end for them. And Sweden, who won the final last year, end up on the podium to take third here in the Challenge Cup. So that's your top three. Then it was Spain and Poland. Of course, there is yet another Challenge Cup competition to come today, and that will be for the children. No ponies in the Challenge Cup because there were only 8 teams in the first rounds. They all have gone through to the final, but that's for tomorrow. Nevertheless, there are 4 teams in the children. That comes up at 5:30 this afternoon. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap, and about an hour and a quarter to the Challenge Cup. We'll be back for the children at 5:30.
The 5th place is for Poland, team captain Tomasz Lodarski. FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final Challenge Cup hier op de Ekiholm Arena Nederland met als teamcaptain Vincent Voren, Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Fichter en Finn Boerenkamp. 8 punten in 214 seconden 40. Tweede plaats, second place voor de Danish team with teamcaptain Boka Muller, Cecilie Kjor, Jacob Theodor Schmidt, Victoria Sofia Jort Madsen, Rosemarie Hering, 12 points in 208.74. To complete the podium, het podium te complementeren. Een derde plaats voor Zweden. Sweden third with team captain Henrik Lanner. 13 points in 208.17. Ebba Keventer, Ebba Danielsson, Josephine Torel, Ida Serin. Preparing everything for the prize giving ceremony of this competition, FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final, the Challenge Cup for young riders. The Netherlands, Denmark and Sweden. Ter informatie, de volgende rubriek starten we hier op de Ekiom Arena om 17:30. The next competition, 5:30. 17h30, l'épreuve suivante ici sur la piste Equihome. 17:30 dus onze volgende rubriek in de FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final. Next competition at 17:30. Preparing ourselves for the prize giving ceremony of this FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final Challenge Cup for young riders here at the Equihome Arena. Winners of the FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final onder de leiding van Vincent Voorn als teamcaptain het Nederlandse team. Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Fichter, Finn Boerenkamp en Jorien de Dolfijn. 8 punten, 8 points, 214.40. And the winners of the Nations Cup team in the Challenge Cup. Tweede plaats, second place for Denmark with team captain Bo K. Møller, Cecily Kjær, Jacob Theodor Schmidt, Victoria Sofia Jørd Madsen, Rosemarie Hering en Frederike Vensholt. 12 points, 208.74. And with 13 points and 208.17 the time, third place for the Swedish team. Team captain Henrik Lanner, Ebba Keventer, Ebba Danielsson, Josefine Torrell, Ida Selin. If the grooms are ready and present, then they can dismount riders. Dan nemen de grooms even de paarden over en dan kunnen we ze naar het podium begeleiden, dames en heren. FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final, the Challenge Cup on Saturday for young riders. The third place for Sweden, team captain Henrik Lanner, Ebba Keventer, Ebba Danielsson, Josefine Torrell, Ida Selin. The second place for the Danish team, team captain Bo K. Møller, Cecily Kjær, Jacob Theodor Schmidt, Victoria Sofia Jørd Madsen, Rosemarie Hering, Frederike Vensholt. The Danish team second place. Maar de winnaars, dames en heren, van deze FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final for Young Riders. Winners for the Netherlands, team captain Vincent Voorn, Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Fichter, Finn Boerenkamp, Jorien de Dolfijn. Schitterend podium. Op 3 Zweden, op 2 Denemarken, maar op 1 Nederland. En dat betekent dat we gaan luisteren naar de Nederlandse hymne. Time for the national anthem for the Netherlands. De hymne voor Nederland voor Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Vichter, Fien Boerenkamp, Jorinde Dolfijn en teamchef Vincent Voren. De Dutch team. Geef ze maar een terecht applaus, dames en heren. Het schitterende podium, Nederland op 1, Denemarken op 2 en Zweden op 3. Met felicitaties vanwege onder andere onze foreign judge René Biardon, de FEI representative René Biardon en natuurlijk de familie Hazebroek. Felicitaties voor Nederland, Denemarken en Zweden. By our FEI representative, our foreign judge René Biardon. En natuurlijk de familie Hazebroek. Lotte, Mike, Matthias. Lotte, Matthias en Mike, de familie Hazebroek, die de top 3 feliciteert met een schitterend resultaat. Top 3 Zweden, 2 Denemarken en 1 Nederland. Sportieve schitterende strijd in deze FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final op zaterdag. Prachtig podium op 3 Zweden. Ebba Kevanter, Ebba Danielsson, Josefine Torrell, Ida Selin. Second Denmark, Cecilie Kjor, Jacob Theodor Schmidt, Victoria Sofia Jord Madsen, Rosemarie Hering, Frederik Vensholt. De winnaars, Nederlandse team onder leiding van teamcaptain Vincent Voren. Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Vichter, Fien Boerenkamp en Jorinde Dolfijn. Terug naar hun trouwe viervoeters, waarmee ze dit schitterende resultaat behaalden. Back on the super horses. Beautiful result for Sweden, Denmark and the Netherlands. Hij begeleidde ze naar de winst, dames en heren. Teamcaptain Vincent Voren. Het Nederlandse team, Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Vichter, Fien Boerenkamp en Jorinde Dolfijn. De eerronde, Tour d'honneur, de Lap of Honor. Congratulations. De Dutch team, Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Vichter, Fien Boerenkamp, Jorinde Dolfijn en teamcaptain Vincent Voren. Second place for the Danish team, Cecilie Kjor, Jacob Theodor Schmidt, Victoria Sofia Jord Madsen, Rosemarie Hering, Frederik Vensholt en teamcaptain Boka Möller. The third place for Sweden, Ebba Kevanter, Ebba Danielsson, Josefine Torrell, Ida Selin, teamcaptain Henrik Lanner. Het Nederlandse team, de Dutch team, Wesley, Fleur, Logan, Fien en Jorinde. Winners of the FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Final, the Challenge Cup. De Dutch team, Wesley de Boer, Fleur Holleman, Logan Vichter, Fien Boerenkamp, Jorinde Dolfijn en teamchef Vincent Voren. So riders, the arena is open for inspection. Listen to the bell. Ting, ting, ting. Oké. Er mag verkend worden, ruiters. La piste verte pour faire la reconnaissance.